Hello guys, this is trade of the day. I'll be going over today's trade that I made on Thursday, January 26, 2017. So today I was looking at a couple overextended charts to short. UVV was one, GV and TK. Now GV was a little bit hard to kind of short because um, in the morning it broke out a previous day high. If you look at this green, I guess, line right here, and it kind of broke down below that and it went back up. So I was a little worried about that one. Didn't want to short that one just because of that volatility, and wasn't sure if this was going to continue or keep going, especially if it was above the previous day high. And it kind of did break down later on, but kind of held here, and I wasn't sure I was gonna should I short it or not. Um, that's something that I kind of decided to focus on other trades. I didn't want to be staring at this all day, but honestly, this would have been a great trade if I would have shorted once it broke 7. Once it broke below 7, if when it actually below 7, maybe 708, 709. I should have short, especially if when it went red, and I should have risked it um, based on this lower high level, maybe 730 right here. Um, that would have been the perfect trade, but again, it was kind of difficult to kind of figure it out. And later on, it literally just faded all day. So it was one of those, slow movers, but flush, then consolidate, then flush and consolidate, and it was really weird. But oh well, there's a lot more out there. So there was also TK. This one also did the same thing, broke out a previous day high, and it just went up. This one was actually even harder to kind of determine the trade. I think the only way to kind of short this one is to look at the daily chart to see if there was any previous highs, on the daily that could act as resistance, and there was one at 1185. I didn't hit that low, but it kind of went towards it here, close to 1185. The only way to kind of short this was to pretty much short on a lower low. So definitely when it went below 1160, maybe 1159, 1158, shorted. Honestly, based on 1185 is the risk, because that's actually the base on the daily, not this one, because it could bounce back up and go up there and maybe hit this, and it's a little riskier. But again, it would have been a great trade because it literally faded all day, perfect fade, went red and it just faded all day. I wish I would have been in that trade, but oh well. Now I was at UVV. Now this one kind of did what I was looking for, not exactly, but it did do it. At the open, I was kind of expecting for right away to kind of pop towards previous day high and kind of form some sort of wall resistance around the area. It kind of didn't do that. It kind of just very low volume, just kind of wandered around, faded. It went red, very low volume, so I didn't want to short, and it kind of just stayed there steadily. And I was thinking to myself, you know what, this thing has a lot of room to go. It could go to 75. You look at how far it's been. So I kind of decided to kind of get in, put a limit order to short if it goes to 77.05, which was kind of like the previous close, which could act as resistance. It did hit it. I did get short in that level, but it kind of spiked. I think this spike was definitely stops, because a lot of traders put stops, hard stops, 77.5, and those stops are market orders. So when you get a market order like that, honestly, you're gonna get the worst fills ever. Especially with these algos. And this guy's definitely, this was 2,700 shares. This was 4,237 shares, and these guys got filled in at all the way up to 77.55. So it kind of actually did what I was looking for at the open, but it did it around almost 9 o'clock in the morning. I was already in, so I kind of didn't want to add. I wasn't sure if I should add, especially if it could go towards previously high, especially with the spike went so high. But honestly, this would have been the perfect spot to kind of add. Your best way to kind of add would be to kind of see if, um, first of all, if it was a low volume spike, especially based on relative to other volume. You know, if you look at this volume bar right here, let me see, that's 30,000 shares. And you see some over here of like this flush of 19,000 shares, even at the close yesterday of 23,000 shares. Let me see, I think that's more. Uh, yeah, 23,000 shares, you know, compared to this low volume spike of, you know, 2,000 shares, you know. Honestly, that's a spike that could easily be faded and shorted based on based on your risk on prior day high, and especially if you kind of start seeing lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So I should have done that and based it on previous day high, my risk, and then just held. Now, again, I was already in at 77.05, so I kind of didn't want to add. I was hesitant, but I did held. I did held. And eventually, they come back, which I was happy. It went red again, so I was already in the green. But it just literally just grinded, consolidated, just back and forth for literally from 9:44 till 12. So we're talking about 9:44, 10:44, 11:44, like almost 2 hours and a half, back and forth. And I just got impatient, you know, and I started seeing some kind of bid stacking up and I saw some bid stacking up, and honestly, I think it was just algos are probably just spoofing bids because on the time and sales, literally, you didn't see anything go above 500 shares. So no big, um, I guess, shares were filled at a time. It was all 100 shares, 200 shares. Honestly, it's probably just market makers, just going back and forth, selling and buying each other. So I should have just held, but I really just got impatient waiting there for like 2 hours. And I just closed my position, took a little bit of profit, less than 1 to 1, which is definitely not ideal, but hey, I still made money, and I kind of just closed it because I started to kind of see almost a trend reversal, and I was starting to get a little bit nervous. I held already too much. I wanted to kind of see a fade right away, and it just didn't happen. So I closed my position, went to the gym, played some basketball, came back, looked at the chart, and then you see this huge flush. That's what exactly was I was looking for. You know, 2 hours earlier. I wish this would have happened around 10 o'clock, even 11 a.m. But it happened late day, around 1 o'clock p.m. Central, and I was at that time getting ready, heading to the gym already at that time, and it happens. But again, this is the potential of these type of trades. Definitely in the future, you know, looking for spikes to kind of add on these type of setups with risking previously high, and then just kind of making sure I do see some. The volume is very important to see how powerful are these spikes, you know, because this type of spike was kind of low volume compared again relative to other type of spikes or flushes with high volume. So I think this could have easily been just a stop. Maybe a trader put a stop at the previous close and a market order, and it just got hit and it just got filled at a really bad spot. And again, these are the perfect spikes and pops to kind of short. And again, risking on previous day high. So, because if I would have done it, if I would have shorted close to maybe 77.38 or 77.40, it would have been a lot easier for me to hold, and then just hold here and hopefully look for a late day fade, late day flush. But again, something that I'm going to keep in mind in the future. So hey, I hope you guys like this video. If you guys learned something, please like it, comment, share it with your friends, who, you know, people who are interested in trading. Subscribe to my channel. I'll definitely be posting more videos, and hope to hear and hope you guys hear from me soon. Thank you.